Hello friends, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing an intermediate algorithm scripting one called seek and destroy. You'll be provided with an initial array. The first argument is the destroyer function, followed by one or more arguments. Remove all elements from the initial array that are the same values as these arguments. Okay, so basically the first thing we're going to get, this is the array, and then we get a list of continuous arguments that are elements that we want to destroy. So with this one, we want to get rid of 2 and 3. So this one, we're going to get rid of 2 and 3 and 2 and 3, and we'll be left with an array of 1 and 1. Right? So that's just a commented out thing. I'm just telling you what we need. Okay, so the first thing I would do with this one, we're already calling the function, so I'm just going to console log in here the arguments. Okay? And this gets us a hash with the arguments. Now, it's easy to work with this based on the values. So I think you can go object.values, and then you pass in the arguments. Okay, cool. So now we have an array. An array is easier to work with, right? So if we go position 0, well, now this is what we have. This is our, what do we say? Well, we call this one seek and destroy. This one is the battle. Or the battlefield, right? Like battlefield is equal to this guy. So that tells us this is the arguments that we want to be prepared to destroy. And then object, the values, we could go arguments dot slice and then just say 1. Cool. And so this one, in this example, it gets us 2 and 3, but let's say 1 was in here as well. Would we get 1 in there as well? And then what about 10? Yeah, so the arguments.slice just makes a copy of all the elements from 1 to infinity. So yeah, we can get rid of 1 and 10 now. We don't need that for our purposes here. And then what we can do is just set these elements to destroy. Cool. I'm going to slide this out just so we have a little more space to see what we're working with. Yeah, and so now let's bring this console log down. I'm thinking, well, elements to destroy, that's an array, right? And so what we could do is say, well, like let's say if we set up a for loop and we just iterate through, if elements destroy dot index of 1, well, that would give us -1, right? And so that would mean that 1 is not part of our elements to destroy. But what happens if we passed in 2? Then we have a position of 0 because 2 is our first element in the elements to destroy. And so what we want to do, so then we can just pass through. And if the index is -1, we can save that to an array of like, we'll say remaining elements. Let's call it surviving elements. And we'll set that equal to an empty array, right? Okay, cool. So what we want to do now is we could just do a for loop, and we're going to let I equal 0. I is less than the battlefield dot length, and I plus equals 1. And that gives us, now we're iterating through. If we throw the console log into here, and we go, the battlefield at index, we're going to go through, and now we're iterating through each one of these, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And now we can say, so this is area to target to area to recon. That's equal to the battlefield at position I, right? And so if we will go if the area to recon, and I'm going to put this in brackets, position. We should say position because instead of instead of an area, it's a position. We have a specific position. If the area to position okay, dot index of is equal to, no, we want to say elements to destroy. Oops. If elements to destroy and the index of the position to recon, in other words, is equal to -1, which means if it's not included in there, then we say the surviving elements dot push the position to recon. So we're saying this is a safe place and we don't remove it. And then we just return the surviving elements, position to recon. Position to recon. Okay, so now we're not getting any errors now, but we're not console logging anything, so we could let this be result. And then we could console.log the result. And then we're getting 1 and 1, which is what we want. Let's throw in a more complex one, this guy. Yeah. Got the whole function there. We can make that the result equal to that. And our result is 1292.65. So yeah, that's exactly what we want. If we run the test, I bet they'll pass. Okay, cool. Now let's refactor a little bit. Let's see. I actually like using explicit variable names and, you know, defining things outside. One thing that I would do here is, well, we could make this a for each statement. So this would make all this I stuff less important. So we could do battlefield dot for each, and then function. Oh, we're not doing that yet. There we go. Okay, so now we're using a for each statement, which simplifies the code a little bit. What else could we do? Well, obviously we could, or not obviously, but we could use arrow function to simplify the code a little bit more. And yeah, I actually like the way that we lay this out, because we were able to say, like, this is what we're looking at. These are the elements that we want to destroy, and then we basically leave only the surviving elements, and so each of the surviving elements gets returned. And so really, I mean, I think that this is a good way of wrapping it up. So yeah, hope you guys, the test pass, hope you guys enjoyed this one, and we'll see you in the next lesson.